Hey everybody, this is Kathy. I'm reading from Luke 24, verse 13 to I think it's 35. And behold, two of them were going on the same day to a village named Emmaus, which was 60 stadia away from Jerusalem. And they were talking to each other concerning all these things which had occurred. These are the two disciples, by the way. And they're walking, it's about 7 miles from Jerusalem. And they're walking along talking. And they were talking to each other concerning all things which had occurred. And while they were talking and discussing, Jesus himself drew near and went with them. But their eyes were kept from recognizing him. And he said to them, "What are these words which you are exchanging with one another while you're walking?" And they stood still, looking sad. And one of them, Cleophas, by name, answered and said to him, "Do you alone dwell as a stranger in Jerusalem and not know the things which have taken place in it in these days?" And he said to them, "What things?" And they said to him, "The things concerning Jesus the Nazarene, who was a prophet, powerful in work and word before God and all the people." I mean, like, well, where have you been? This is what's going on. And how the chief priests and our rulers delivered him up to the sentence of death and crucified him. But we were hoping that he was the one who was about to redeem Israel. Indeed, besides all these things, it is now going on the 3rd day since these things took place. But moreover, some women from among us amazed us, being at the tomb early and not finding his body. They came saying that they had also seen a vision of angels who said that he is living. And some of those with us went to the tomb and found it even as the woman also said, but they did not see him. And he said to them, "O foolish and slow of heart, to believe in all that the prophets have spoken. Was it not necessary for the Christ to suffer these things and enter into his glory?" And beginning from Moses and from all the prophets, he explained to them clearly in all the scriptures the things concerning himself. And they drew near to the village where they were going, and he acted as though he would go farther. And they constrained him, saying, "Stay with us, because it is near evening, and the day is already gone by." And he went in to stay with them. And as he reclined at table with them, he took the loaf and blessed it. And having broken it, he began handing it to them. And their eyes were opened, and they recognized him, and he disappeared from them. And they said to one another, "Was not our heart burning within us while he was speaking to us on the road, while he was opening to us the scriptures?" And they rose up that very hour and returned to Jerusalem. And they found the 11 with those with them assembled together, saying, "The Lord really has been raised and appeared to Simon." And they related the things that occurred on the road and how he was made known to them in the breaking of the bread. I love this story. I love this story because it shows us at the beginning of the story 2 of his disciples walking alone. They're pretty downhearted because they really thought that this man called Jesus that they followed was going to be raised from the dead, that he was the promised one, that he was the Messiah that everybody had been waiting for. And here is this stranger to them, or maybe they didn't really look him in the eye very well, but who starts to walk with them, and they're discussing this happening, and where have you been, for you not to know this? And then they walk down the road, and it begins to come evening, and they stop at their destination, but Jesus walks on just a little further. And then they say, wait, come in. Evening is here. and it's late. Come in and be with us and eat and relax. Was it that Jesus went on a little further to see if they were going to invite him in? What was the purpose to walk along with those two? Why did he just suddenly appear and they didn't recognize him? So they sit down at table and he goes to bless the bread. And I'm sure before every meal, for any time he probably broke bread, he thanked his Father above, because he had the faith from his Father. And I can just see them reclining with him, and he's pretty well at ease. They've welcomed him into their home, and they have dinner there for him to eat. And then it says that when he reclined at table with them, he took the loaf and blessed it, and having broken it, he began handing it to them. And their eyes were opened, and they recognized him. And then he disappears. My notes say that he didn't get up and leave. He became invisible, but he was still there. So they have realized that after breaking bread, was it because were they with him at the mountain when he fed the 5,000? Or when he fed the 7,000? He always made sure that his disciples picked up the scraps. Why? He would ask them afterwards. Why would he have them do that? Because God always supplies more than enough. With God, there's always more than enough. So they were excited, and God has put the fire in them again. So they go to Jerusalem, and they're looking for the 11, so that they can tell them themselves, we have seen him. He really has been raised from the dead. From the dead, and he has appeared to Simon. And they related the things that occurred on the road, and how he was made known to them in the breaking of the bread. I think this story is it's precious to me, because they didn't realize who this man was that was walking with them. That they were probably sad. They had hope, great hope, that the man called Jesus would be resurrected from the dead, just like he said, so he could prove himself to everyone. And right when he blesses the bread and breaks it and hands it to them, they look at him. It's him. He really was resurrected and was there to show them not only the power of God, but to prove that there was truth in every word he said. Jesus loves us. He loves us enough to lay his life down for us, and then to trust the Father that he would raise it up again. I thank you so much for listening. And again, this is Luke 24, starting with verse 13, if you'd like to go back and read it in your own translation or own version. But he loves us all. And I still have the feeling within myself that he is coming back. And I hope and pray that he will come back soon. Thank you so much. I love you. I pray for each and every one of you. My subscribers are like family to me. Better than family. Have a wonderful day tomorrow, and be blessed. And the peace of Jesus Christ be yours.